Hi everyone. This video lesson is on rotations. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to rotate, which means turn a figure 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees clockwise and counterclockwise on the coordinate plane. I'm going to start by showing a very short video.
A rotation turns a shape. In this example, the triangle has been turned or rotated. Sometimes shapes are rotated just a few degrees, and other times they may be rotated significantly. In this example, the triangle was rotated counterclockwise. Whenever a rotation occurs, the figure must always stay the same size and the same shape. It is only turned. There is always a point about which the shape is turned, like the center of a clock, about which the minute and second hands move. In our example, that point is marked with the crosshairs. If a figure is rotated all the way around, back to where it started, this is called a full rotation and is 360 degrees. Halfway around is 180 degrees. When a figure is rotated exactly 180, it is said to have point symmetry because each point has a matching point that is the same distance but in the opposite direction.
Okay, that's it. All right, so let's start going over the rotation rules, and there's 3 rules. Here's one. So if you want to rotate a figure 90 degrees or 270 degrees counterclockwise, you will follow these steps. Okay, so given a point, let's call this point A. Given point A, you're going to switch X and Y. That's what it says here, switch X and Y, and then change the sign of the first coordinate. So let's look at this example. So you switch X and Y. So 2, -4 becomes -4, 2, and then it says to change the sign of the first coordinate. So that means that's going to go from negative to positive, and that's it. That's how you rotate a figure. And when you're rotating a figure, basically you're rotating all of the points that make that figure. So to rotate 90 degrees or 270 degrees counterclockwise, you switch X and Y and change the sign of the first. And here's a summary note of this rule here. Every time I perform these rotations, I like to make a note of the rule first to remember the rules correctly. So you see what I have here, 90 degrees counterclockwise, and S means switch, X and Y, and 1 means change the sign of the first coordinate. Okay? All right. Next rule, number 2, rule 2, rotating 90 degrees clockwise. So if you're going to rotate 90 degrees clockwise, so this is what it looks like. Okay? This is going clockwise, and this is going counterclockwise. Counterclockwise, and this is clockwise. All right, so you will switch X and Y and change the sign of the second coordinate. So given an ordered pair, as we have in this example, 5, 3, so you're going to switch. So you're going to have -5. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong pair. Look over here. So it's going to be 3, 5. So you see what I did? I switched them. And then the second step says change the sign of the second coordinate, which is this one here. So whatever the sign for this number is, you change it. If it's negative, it becomes positive. If it's positive, it becomes negative. So this will be the end result, and that's what I have here. Okay, so try to remember it this way. This is the way I remember it. 90 degrees clockwise, switch, S for switch, okay, switch X and Y, and change the sign of the second. Now, it can be confusing, when you're rotating counterclockwise and clockwise. How are you going to remember to differentiate these rules? So we have to find a way to help us differentiate when we get a little confused about the rules. All right, so look at these rules here, both of them. See if you can spot something that will help you differentiate which goes with which when you start to get confused about these two. Is there something about each one that makes it easy to remember which goes with which? Let me erase these lines and let me highlight some things. You see we have CC here, and we have the number 1. We have C here, we have the number 2. So they're kind of flipped. 2 C's go with 1, 1 C goes with 2. Do you see that? If that makes it easy for me to remember. So when I write the rule before I perform the transformation, I look to see, well, how many C's do I have? If I have 2 C's, I know that goes with 1 because it's the opposite of this one here. If I have 1 C, that goes with 2. So that's how I check myself. And that's how they are different. So I hope you will do the same to help you so that you're using the correct rule. All right, so let's go ahead and start putting this into practice. No, actually, all right, so this is the last rule, rule number 3, 180-degree rotation. And I think this is the easiest one. It says do not, okay, let me say that again, do not switch X and Y. Just change both coordinates. That's it. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and put these rules into practice. Number 1, rotate figure ABC with these vertices 90 degrees counterclockwise. Okay, so if it's 90 degrees counterclockwise, this is what I do for myself to help me. 90 degrees counterclockwise. That's what CCW. I know I have to switch X and Y, and I have to change which, the first, the sign of the first or the second. Well, I check over here. There's 2 C's, that means I need 1 here. So that's how I remember. So now that's what we're going to do. So let's find A prime. So A prime, switch X and Y. So this is what I mean by switch X and Y. And change the sign of the first. Whatever the sign of the first is, change it. So if it's positive, this will be negative. All right, B prime, switch X and Y, and change the sign of the first. So this will be -2. C prime, switch X and Y. So we'll have 7, -4 when you switch them, and change the sign of the first. That's it. And now we're going to plot the original, the pre-image, and then the image. All right, let's plot the pre-image first. A is located at -7 up to. This is A. B is located at -4 up to. And C is located at -4 up 7. C. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and plot these points. This is the pre-image. Pre-image. Okay, now we'll plot the image. A prime is located at -2 down 7. This is A prime. B prime is located at -2 down 4. And C prime is located at -7 down 4. Now we'll just connect. And that's it. Okay, so we rotated it 90 degrees counterclockwise. All right, I'm going to come back to 2. I'm going to go to 3 and then come back to 2. So number 2, rotate the figure ABCD. Okay, there is no D, so we need to take that out. ABC. So why don't we plot the pre-image first, ABC. A is located at 2, 2. B is located at 2, 5. C is located at 9, 2. No, sorry, this doesn't belong here. 9, 2, right here. Okay, and now we'll find A prime. All right, so if I am rotating this 90 degrees clockwise, so this is what I write, clockwise, 1C, W, clockwise, switch X and Y and change the sign up. I have 1C, so that means this has to be 2. So change the sign of the second. So we'll switch X and Y. Well, if you switch them, it doesn't make any difference because they're the same. And change the sign of the second. B prime, switch, so it's going to be 5, 2, and change the sign of the second. C prime, switch them, and change the sign of the second. And that's it. Now let's go ahead and plot those points. 2 down 2, that would be here, that's A prime. 5 down 2, that's here, B prime. And 2, 9, that would be over here, C prime. Okay, so that's a 90-degree clockwise rotation. All right, let me go back to number 2. All right, let's look at number 2. Rotate figure ABC 180 degrees. All right, do you remember the rules? For 180 degrees, we do not switch the X and Y. We just change the sign of both. Change, just change the sign of both. Okay, so I'm going to start by plotting the points. A is located at 4 and up 3. B is located, this is A. B is located at 2 up 6. and C is located at 6, 6. 6 and 6 right here. C. Okay, so now let's find A prime. Just change the sign of both. So we have 4, 3. So it's going to be -4, -3. And let's do B prime. Whatever the signs are, you change them. 2, 6, so we'll have -2, -6. C prime, 6, 6, we'll have -6, -6. All right, let's plot those points. A is located at -4, -3. B is located at -2, -6. B prime. And C prime is located at -6, -6. And that's it. It's a 180-degree rotation. All right, so we're going to do 4. Rotate figure ABCD 270 degrees clockwise. All right, so let's look at something. So if I want to rotate this 270 degrees, that means I have to go 90 degrees here. Another 90 would put me at 180. Another 90 would put me at 270. Okay, that's 270 degrees. So I can go this route. Okay, I can rotate this over here by going 270 degrees clockwise. But is there a shortcut? Is there an easier way to get there without having to go all the way around? Is there an easier way to go? So if you say we could go this way, then you're right. This is called counterclockwise. This is called clockwise. Okay, so yes, it would be faster to go this way. So this means that going 90 degrees counterclockwise is the same thing as rotating it 270 degrees clockwise. Okay, so it's the same rule. So to move this here, okay, you can go around 270 degrees or clockwise, or you can go counterclockwise 90 degrees to get it there. So it's the same rule. Okay, let's try to remember that. So when we get this question, we're using this rule, 90 degrees counterclockwise. All right, so let's plot these points. A is located at 3, 2. 3, 2 is right here. This is A. B is located at 2, 4. B. C is located at 7, 2. And D is located at 8 and 4. All right, so let's connect them. Okay, now let's go ahead and rotate this figure here 270 degrees, okay, by using this rule here. So A prime, switch X and Y, so I'm going to have 2, 3, and change the sign of the first. B prime, switch X and Y, so we'll have 4, 2, instead of 2, 4, and change the sign of the first. C prime, so instead of 7, 2, I will have 2, 7. Change the sign of the first. D prime, Instead of 8, 4, I will have 4, 8 and change the sign of the first. Now just have to plot these points. A prime is located at -2 up 3, A prime. B prime is located at -4 up 2, B prime. C prime is located at -2 up 7, C prime. And D prime is located at -4 up 8. So we just connect them. And that's it. We rotated it 270 degrees, which is the same thing as, try to draw that a little bit better, 270 degrees clockwise is the same as 90 degrees counterclockwise. I don't think we need that. I'm going to delete that. I think we're good. All right, so let's go on. Rotate let's don't need the D here. I made some changes and I forgot to edit my work. All right, rotate rectangle ABC. So let's plot the points first. A is located at -6 up 2, A. B is located at -2 up 2, B. And C is located at -4 up 4. And just connect. Okay, 90 degrees counterclockwise. Okay, so you write your summary note, 90 degrees counterclockwise, switch X and Y, and change the sign. Okay, I see 2 C's, so I need 1 here. So A prime, switch X and Y, so you'll have 2, -6, change the sign of the first. B prime, so instead of -2, 2, you'll have 2, -2, and then you'll change the sign of the first. C prime, so instead of -4, 4, you'll have 4, -4, and then you'll change the sign of the first. Well, let's plot those points. All right, A prime is located at -2 down 6. A prime. B prime is located at -2, -2, which is B prime. C prime is located at -4, -4, C prime. So there it is. Okay, rotate ABC 90 degrees clockwise. Why don't you go ahead and pause the video and do this by yourself, then turn the video on and check yourself. And switch the sign of the second. B prime, instead of -2, 2, you will have 2, 2, but then, -2, but then you'll change the sign. So it'll be positive. And then C, so you'll have 4, 4. Because you'll switch and then change the sign of the second. All right, so we just need to plot the points, the pre-image and the image. All right, A is located at -6 up 2. This is A. B is located at -2 up 2. B. C is located at -4 up 4. Okay, and that's what we had there before. And it's 90 degrees clockwise. All right, A is located at 2 up 6. B is located at 2 2. B prime. And C prime is located at 4 4. C prime. That's it. So this was counterclockwise, this is clockwise. Same shape. How did you do? All right, so I want you to try this page on your own. All right, this should be clockwise. So do counter 90 degrees, counter clockwise here, and do 90 degrees clockwise here of the same problem number 1. All right, so you have 4 problems, 4 rotation problems that I want you to work on by yourself. And then I want you to start the homework on this page here, where you go back and practice more with reflections and translations. Okay? All right, and this concludes this video on rotations.